All right, hey guys, welcome to the PU thing where it's been a crazy week since last time we did this, me and Hajad, where we're going to talk about PU. So if you want like a big recap of everything that's been going down, you can check out Council Minutes for that. We're just going to hit the main stuff, the Snake Week 1 and the tier shifts that happened earlier today or yesterday for Hajad. Not even gonna hit PU Open because that continues to just suck and the games were awful. I really hope finals that happen in less than 24 hours get better because oh my god. Um, but yeah, we had some shifts. How do you feel about Hatcham going to ZU?
Um, it's just typical, isn't it? I make a big post saying Hatchim's broken, just goes to see you. Incredible.
Yep,
I don't.
nobody's abusing it. Nobody's caught on, and you're gonna have to imbue Kepi with some of that bounce spirit because it's not happening yet.
Yeah, I think with Hatchim, even though I don't think my post was far off the mark, I think generally speaking, the um, the pressure level of hazards it just isn't as high as it was in previous metas. I think if we didn't have boots in this meta, um, we're looking at Hatcham potentially being like a top five Pokemon
I agree
just because of how powerful then
for sure. Yeah,
Nuzlocke would be.
boots
And
are.
I think my post slightly missed the mark on that. And I think many pointed that out well when they made a post. So um, yeah, I think we can all prone to fuck up. And even though that post was wrong, I would say um, it was still an interesting discussion to have.
Yeah, I think there's nothing wrong with making your point, saying like here's where I think things are gonna go, and then you're wrong in hindsight. It's a lot better than when you just keep hitting the same silly points over and over. Like some of the people who go, oh, X and Y Silvally should not have been banned. In hindsight, I'm like, where are you coming from, dude? Obviously, that's a lot more subjective than the obvious. Like, no, Hatchram's clearly pretty balanced right now, but yeah. So, tier shift, Hatcham and Doug Trio went to ZU. Arctivish is back in PUBL, but we're not gonna touch that until the next month. Huge shift, maybe. Which we still know is coming because NU also had an insane shift, and it looks like the same exact thing is gonna happen. But then we got a nice little suite of new Mons. Um, I think the least mentionable is probably Luxray. It's gonna be bad. Uh, I thought for a little bit it might not be, but it's gonna be bad. Uh, yeah, you've
It could
nothing
have
to.
been way worse. It could be way worse.
It could be way worse. It's not as bad as it's been past metas, but it's still gonna be bad. Like every team's got your Fisk or your Slash, maybe a Tangela just to spice it up. Flame Orb, there's a lot of hazards and helmet in this meta, and then Flame Orb chip, and it's got to predict a lot. There's a lot of well, every team has a grass. There's Gorgeists and Appletons and whatever. There's just I can't imagine using Luxray um, at all. I don't know what it's supposed to do.
Yeah,
Plus,
I
plus
think
we have more
Luxray
Peko
comes.
and Boltund and whatever else you want.
Yeah, I think generally Luxray comes into the bracket of um, can intimidate, maybe do something. If that can find a niche, maybe you can see Luxray.
You know what it
But even
needs.
that's a stretch.
You know
That's
what
a
it needs, and
stretch.
you know what would fit. Parting shot. Maybe I'd touch this mon.
Even parting shot. Even
Intimidate,
parting
parting
shot. I think
shot, toxic. It'd still be like more. You got more Peko, but like maybe I don't know.
maybe like a fucking what's that Pokemon that was in SMNU, the really big one, Incineroar. It could have been like an Incineroar light.
Yeah, maybe. But even then, like Incineroar had actual resists. Okay, so that's Luxray. Let's not waste too much time on that. Um, Sort of hard to say what the next smallest mon is gonna be. Probably Polytoad, I guess, which looks like it's gonna be a fine, fun utility water check, except for Lapras thing. I don't have a lot to say on it other than I think stuff like Encore and Counter are pretty fun. Like, I don't think Politoed's gonna make a big splash, no pun intended, but it's got a lot of those random moves, Encore and Counter and Parasong and Whirlpool, and that's always fun, you know. Um,
Yeah, I think I don't know if Polly is going to make that big of an impact this year,
does it get flip
but it could.
turn? I
I
don't
think
know.
potentially maybe Assault Vest can do something,
I'm pretty
especially if it gets flipped on.
I'm
But
pretty
I
sure
don't
it
think it
does. I'm
does.
pretty sure it doesn't, but I should check that out because that would actually be pretty big deal since this mon's always no. It doesn't get flip turn. Uh,
I can see potentially AV being a good um,
eh,
pseudo breaker, like a pseudo breaker,
I feel like I'd rather just run
like being able to tank
specs,
stuff.
but maybe. Yeah,
Yeah, I think specs you just prefer Golduck in that case, or
yeah. The
a faster move.
specs can like you eat water moves is the big thing. The problem is there aren't really the offensive waters that you want to beat. Like it beats Golduck and other
You don't beat Lapras,
Polytoad.
like you just get hardwalled by Lapras.
Yeah, and you get hardwalled by Lapras, which is like oh, and Dreadnought
The
also
other
stone
water.
edges you. So you beat like
Yeah,
two out of our four waters, maybe. You still have to 1v1 the other Politoad. It's just not ideal.
maybe subtoxic with Ice Beam
I
is
think
next to finish there,
subtoxic
but
seems
I
okay.
think there's some.
I was saying in the PU Discord, I thought Encore plus Counter would be really funny because I imagine a lot of people would want to go hard into their like Spidef throw. So they go throw on your Scald, and then they knock off and you counter, and then you encore them into knockoff, and all of a sudden they're like way too low. It just seemed kind of funny. Um, but I don't know. We'll see how far it goes. Gorgeist is probably the next thing to. I think Gorgeist small is going to be pretty good. It's got the 99 speed tier, which isn't a huge difference, but it definitely outpaces some stuff regular Gorgeist can't, especially on Pheasant. It's got like it'll be the best nasty plot form, I think, because they all have the same special attack, but it's even faster. Subseed will be fun. I just don't think it's gonna be like insanely notable because we have other Gorgeists. It'll be good, but like it's not anything super new.
Yeah, we're talking about Gorgeist, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, Gorgeist was
I should
it's
mention it's
just
3:30 a.m. for Hajad, so that if he seems a little slow on the uptake, I don't know why you do this to yourself, dude.
work. Let's just leave it at work, shall we?
Yeah.
And I think with Geist, the small one,
Mhm.
it'll end up being like a utility one, or being more so used as that, like a fast subseed thing. I don't think it's powerful enough to use like Scarf to be super effective in that way.
Yeah,
So I
people
think
have said it's going to be the new Scarfer, and it does. Like the speed tier is notably better. Like it's 84 up to 99 for Scarf is pretty good. Um,
yeah, it makes sense.
but its attack is down to 85. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize it was only down to 85. I thought it was 80. 85 is five less base attack than normal guys. That's actually like not that bad. I really thought it only had 80 attack. That's crazy. Yeah, it's got five less base attack. Scarf actually seems like it'd be fine.
Yeah, yeah. On retrospect, Scarf is probably fine, but I mean, the I think the key thing with Geist small is really going to be, maybe even the bulk is going to be an issue, because with Gorgeist you always want to switch it into. Um, but even then, if you're using Geist small to switch into certain things, like just use Geist large and be defensive or something. Like I'm not super like high on it. I don't think it's going to be that great, because if you have to wall Geist super, you're gonna by default wall Geist small. So I think
Pretty much, yeah.
we either find all the Geists broken or none of them broken. So
Where I think it's really
uh,
gonna help is the nasty plot sets because uninvested Gorgeist small sub is still not broken by Type Null's U-turn, by either of Stunfisk's stabs. Um, it actually outspeeds Unpheasant, which can be pretty big for like, oh, if you want to sub up on the Brave Bird and recoil it down a bit, and then like a +2 Giga Drain is going to do the damage. I think that's where it'll be nice. Although Stunfisk might be running a lot more foul play. We'll get to that. We'll get to that later. But yeah, I think that may be subseed, but if Bouffalin's really big, that might not check out. Liepard. Liepard seems pretty good. We had it earlier, and it wasn't a huge deal. And then it rose to NU. So okay, whatever. But now, it's got 106 base speed. That's a point faster than Gallardash. That's really fucking nice. Um,
Yeah.
we also used to
Not a
have
knockoff.
we also used to have other darks that were really good, and now our dark is just more Peko, who's good, but it doesn't knock off. So like as a strong knockoff spammer, which is less valuable in certain ways in like the Poltergeist meta, we don't really have that anymore. Like Poniard, Krokorok, not so much. So I'm kind of hyped for Liepard.
Yeah, I think Liepard could potentially be like a dark horse in terms of things that could be broken in the future. In between Nasty Plot, Dark Horse, Copycat, and
Mhm.
Choice Band, it could be a pain to figure out how to ward it.
Yeah, it
Well, it does
can
have it going for it.
U-turn
It
on
has,
you. It's got a lot of funny moves. It's got trick. It's got skitter smack. It's got it's, what's the move I was thinking of? Sucker punch. Like it's got like the random bag of tricks it can pull out that like I don't even think most of those moves will get that much usage, but it's always like, what's this gonna do to me now? And Prankster Encore for Lilligant and Kling Kling. That's fun.
exactly, and I think, yeah, in terms of generally being like a dark horse, in terms of things to watch out for in the future, the Lifeblood could definitely be up there in terms of
Mm.
just things. Because think about it again, like we just made a big deal about how big of a problem um, stuff like Stunfisk and particularly Rocky Helmet Stunfisk, but also stuff like Boots and maybe even PU's lack of knockoff switchings. Liepard could I could definitely see it being like an A plus rank Pokemon and S in the future.
Yeah, we'll see. That's a little that's a little zealous, but I don't think it's that crazy. One final thing is, obviously, I think on like non-choice U-turn like Black Glasses utility sets, Prankster Encore gonna be super fun. Always a really nice thing to have. But on choice band sets, it actually is limber, which means it can spam knockoff right into Stunfisk. How about that?
Yeah,
Uh,
that's very useful. That will be extremely useful because it means you can just spam U-turn and not be scared, and it's like
yeah,
it's just like a good feeling.
yeah. We don't have many. Persian has limber, but it needs technician. What else has limber in this tier? Stunfisk,
What has
obviously. Grap
what
locked.
happened to this tier, bro? What happened to this tier, bro? Why are we talking about limber Pokemon?
Grap locked has limber. Why aren't we using that over throw? Anyway, um,
I don't need to
two
answer that
more
anymore.
drops to hit. These are the ones that are like the oh, it's gonna be broken. Who knows? Bouffalant. Bouffalant looks pretty gosh darn scary. It's got sub SD stuff with that massive ass bulk that seems like it can set up on a decent amount and be very very scary. Obviously, you got to work out what your move pull is, how you're gonna hit Gorgeists, but that seems like it has a lot of matchup potential. And then Choice Band. Choice Band hits buttons. We don't really have normal resists. We mostly just have immunities in the random ghosts that it can lash out or throat chop. Probably throat chop. Sap Sipper also, that's insane in this meta. Walls Gorgai Stab blocks Strength Sap from Drift Blim. Obviously, maybe you don't want to get burned by any of these or whatever, but that's real nice utility. And this is grass on
Yeah,
like
but they
every
can't switch it.
yeah, and there's a grass on like
It's
every single team. Lilligant
Guaranteed detail.
Stop 2, that's nice. It just looks really gosh darn scary and really variable. It seems like there's a lot you could do with Boof. Like back in Oras, it would start to run Taunt Toxic, the occasional Cotton Guard Amnesia sets. You remember that? Sub stuff.
I
Like,
love those.
and it really seems like Boof can do a lot of the same stuff. It looks really scary. Um, Things that neuter it, certain sets are going to have troubles with the Gorgeists, obviously. Um, Throw being everywhere doesn't exactly help. Um, and teams are very physical oriented. There's not like, maybe it's just me. I feel like we have way more physical attackers than special attackers. So Boof's like being more fat, specially, isn't, I guess, as big of a deal. I don't know if it's gonna be broken yet, but it's on my radar and it looks really fucking good.
On the other hand, I do think that Booth will end up being broken. I don't know if it's worth banning it immediately, but I do think this is probably 100% broken. Key thing I'd point to is going to be how well it adapts to the speed of the tier, because we do have slower stuff, which is just as powerful offensively, but um, they still struggle with the tier just because of the offensive pressure. So potentially we could find that if sub SD sets don't set up consistently enough. But my gut feeling prior to watching much gameplay with it is it's gonna end up being broken.
Yeah, yeah, which is a
Maybe
shame.
the sub SD set.
I like this
Maybe
mon,
the sub SD
but
set
yeah.
because with the sub SD thing, all of the ghosts essentially become invalid if you fix sub on the switch in.
Well, that's
They
the
have
thing where like
literally no way of breaking.
Gorgeists is gonna need to fit foul play. That's crazy.
Yeah.
And like
Huge.
Scarf Gorgeist is not gonna be a boof stop. Um, Scarf foul play is gonna die over time. Then you're either dropping trick or synthesis. That's really annoying. Stunfisk should probably start running foul play in that last slot too, over like the toxic T wave yawn. But then you can't run rest, and rest is really big because Kling Klang still kind of broken in this meta. Um, oh, that's what Luxray does. Luxray is the Kling Klang answer. There you go.
You just get toxic and die.
No, you run
If you rest,
rest. You run rest Luxray, and how do you kill Kling Klang? Does it just shift gears and protects? I don't know. It's a great question. Okay.
Does Luxray get early body or something? What's it called? Early bird?
Early bird, no.
Oh yeah.
That's pretty much just on birds.
Yeah. I thought it had an early wake up thing, but yeah, you'd be using Intimidate anyway.
I think it's like one non-Birdmon that randomly gets it. I'm looking at Bulbapedia right now. Yeah, Kangaskhan. That's what I was thinking of. No, there's actually a decent amount of non-Birdmons. Kangaskhan, Houndoom, and Houndour, Seedot, Nuzleaf, Shiftry. What is that? Lediba and Ledian too, if you count them as not birds. Sunkern and Sunflora. In fact, almost none of them are actually birds. Just the Xatu and Dodrio line. Okay. I just realized I accidentally skipped one drop that I don't think is going to be broken, but I think it's going to be really good. Lurantis. Lurantis is, well, it's weird because there's already grass on every team, so people are pretty prepped for grasses. And that Leaf Storm superpower combo doesn't look as scary as it did last gen almost. It looks scary. But if you got like a Gorgeist that can hit it, Appleton, Driftblim.
I think you're tripping here, bro. Honestly.
I think it's going to be really good. Flareon, I think it's going to be really good. But even things like Roselia being more common, I feel like it's going to have matchup issues where it's either going to be like mad, busted, stupid in the matchup because you can't like switch in with your frail ice or whatever, or I think it's going to be like, this is kind of not super useful right now.
You see, I think you're tripping. I think Lurantis gets put into the same bracket as I put Liepard in, where it's like a dark horse A plus S rank thing. Um, Generally, I think with Lurantis, the big thing for me was that its capability to set up whilst dealing damage. That was the biggest thing for me last gen. That made it like, well, this thing like be scary of it. And unlike last gen, we didn't have any of the pom poms or a decent like poison type. We don't have any like much of that going over with that. Um, on top of the fact that the meta was generally towards a fire water grass setup, so you usually had stuff just coverage wise to just deal with it anyway.
Yeah, but that's where I feel like we're kind of in the same place. That like you're gonna have the offensive pressure for it on pretty much whatever with your rhymes and unpheasants, and it's just a question of like, do I have to keep switching into it with really frail shit, or do I have something that can kind of just hard in? And I think that'll kind of really depend on where it goes.
Yeah, I think personally it's going to end up in a similar situation to like a Malamar and you or something similar to that, where it's like it will ask the question of, do you have a Lurantis answer? And if the answer is no, it will win.
Yeah.
But if you do have a Lurantis answer, it might not be as difficult to deal with.
Yeah. I will say as an idle thought, I really think it kind of wants to run knockoff in this meta and fit that, and I'm not sure.
I don't think so. I think you go
I really
Storm Superpower Rest Talk.
Yeah, maybe. I just feel like with the amount of, Unpheasant and Blimp and Rose and all that, I don't know, maybe AV Dustmore probably dies to it.
It could be a neat tech, but
yeah, maybe that's more along the
maybe
lines of my silly like Encore counter Polytoad, but I feel like that looks really valuable. I don't think it's gonna defog nearly as much though. We've got like a good amount of hazard control. You just, like, why are you wasting time defogging with this? Just hit buttons, bro.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I skipped Lurantis. That's that. The other actually like broken drop is Silvally Water, which, oh god, we gotta talk Silvally. So I know you're already like, we gotta immediately ban this right now, and I don't think that's insane at all. I think people have gone, maybe Silvally Water's not so crazy, and it's still gonna be crazy. You cannot reliably beat this with the coverage that it pulls out, except maybe like a fat toxic Polytoad that gets 1v1, but Silvally Water is left at like 2%. On the other hand, do I think it's going, like, just because you can't always reliably switch into it, I do get where people are coming from, where they're saying like, yeah, but is it actually going to be like consistently winning like that? Swords Dance sets have like the weak Ice Beam and whatever. Is it actually going to be just like consistently taking all the games? Probably not. I think if we left it in the meta, would it be like completely dominant, killing everything? Probably not. I just don't think. I think it could be S, but do I think it would just be like stealing games, clearly broken, stupid? I think it'd be more like a Galarian Rapidash than a literally anything we actually ended up banning. But I don't really want this in the tier. I think it's a problem. I think it's just like not good to have around.
Yeah, I think
it's
generally I like the space that the water types are in the tier at the moment, especially with Polytoad. You include that. Like, I like the fact that you have Golduck as your fast thing, and then it slowly degrades. But if you have a slower water type, generally has more bulk or more offensive prowess.
Yeah.
If you throw Silvally Water into that, like, we don't have any physical waters in the tier.
This Dreadnought.
Sure you have.
This Dreadnought, but Silvally Water, you can't reliably go into your grass types. It will Ice Beam your Tangela, your Gorgeist, your Appleton, whereas those are pretty reliably checking Dreadnought, save like the messing around with CB Head Smash, whatever. It is not the same thing to prep for, especially if flips between water and rock and the occasional ice become prevalent. That I hate that shit.
I think it's just generally the problem with Silvally, just overall in general. I feel like rock and ice have severe disadvantages, but if you're running water, you can just use water on every team and have that offensive pressure and the
Yeah.
speed tier and the just generally difficult to revenge kill Pokemon. I
Dude,
don't see a
just
meta where
the speed
you
tier,
just
the incredible multi-attack stab, and Ice Beam. You don't need anything else. That is already insanely good. It doesn't matter what else it runs. Multi-attack Ice Beam off that 95 speed and 95 in both offenses. There's Politoed and Lapras. Otherwise, you're hitting everything. And some people are like, maybe, it'll be balanced and we can start introducing more Silvali's now. No! No! Wait until at least we're dealing with the massive shift. Maybe Crown Tundra. This tier can't handle more of that.
yeah, I think
And
we got into a decent spot when we banned all the Varlies, pretty much when we banned basically all of them. We got into a decent spot where um, all of the Varlies weren't constricting team building as much, and we could sort of move out of the whole meta check meta, where we had to use physical check, special check, and just hope to pray to God that the Varley didn't beat our physical check or whatever.
Yep.
So we moved away from that and into a different meta. It's not ideal, but I think the meta is significantly better than it was, and I don't think we need to go backwards in that sense. Introduce more Varlies.
Yeah. I will say though, I have seen a pretty reasonable amount of pro volley stuff that is coming out more now that we have another one. If you feel like we should save this, if you feel like we should look at unbanning them, which I really don't want to do, but I'm listening to people. Make a goddamn post, please. I want to hear about that. I want to hear why. This thing terrifies me, and like my instinct is no, just get it out of the tier, even if it's not like the most insanest thing ever to grace the tier. I don't really want it around. This is something where like posting on this would really make a difference because I did see the random thoughts dropped in Discord in the room. Oh, maybe we can have a volley. Maybe we could have more volleys. Like I really want to hear more of that. Do people genuinely feel that way?
Yeah, personally speaking, I don't think it adds much to value. I think we're in a good space with the hazards control we have, so we don't need the defog set per se.
For sure, yeah.
Defensively,
defensively, it's a bit of an ice resist, so there's something. But our best ices all have freeze dry or just hit psychic. So
yeah, it's just I don't see an advantage keeping it there.
No,
I
don't. I think at best people can go, yeah, it is not an advantage, but you don't have to kick it out either. That's like the best, It's not adding anything, but maybe it's not broken. We can keep it, please. I think that's the best I see, but I really want to hear what other people think on it. That's drops, though. Again, this is day of. We haven't actually played with these drops at all. So we'll see. We'll see. We'll keep talking about it. But we'll also keep talking about Snake Draft since week 1 is up, and that's just going to keep going for another 10 weeks or whatever. So we can just hit the brief snake predictions. I actually think most of them this week are pretty clear predictions. There's a lot of spread here on who's playing who to where I find them pretty easy to make.
I'll give you my instant reactions because I don't really know who he is playing.
Okay, so I'll give you 4 games at once. Rosie Bear Soulgazer, OBTJ, Ham, Ziri, and Katut versus Kink. Those are all
that is very, very one-sided.
Clear-cut prediction. Yeah, this is really spread out with the people that were less expected to start or the less good starters. Yeah, Rosie opened finals now and still managed to beat Star in the only way where you're left convinced Star's the better player. They just should have brought better stuff. Whereas Soulgazer, OBTJ, we've seen nothing from Opie. It's kind of impossible to predict in his favor. Ham Ziri, Ham is playing instead of Skipcan. Skipcan's going to be providing him teams, but there's not really any reason to predict for him. And Katut Kink. Kink is starting over False. He's the person I said last week's Untier Talk. These rankings are going to be outdated because I know someone's not going to start. I rank Kink at 12th place in the power rankings.
Jesus. that's like two more
Okay,
spaces
no,
than there actually.
Kings had some low tier success in UU and RU and NU. But there's like again, there's nothing to go for here. And the
like
few
King.
times I have
I
seen
like
him like
Kings.
hanging around the PU room and playing PU, I don't remember seeing anything that's like, oh shit, Kink. So like Obi could be good, but I haven't seen anything that make me go, yeah, Kink's gonna beat Katut.
Yeah, yeah. Talk about
Yeah.
baptismal fire.
So we really ended up with these one-sided week ones. The only like real PU highlight. I mean, others have highlight potential, but like the real PU highlight is Kepi versus Telenet. That's fun.
I think the prediction here is obvious. I think you have to go for Kepi.
That was very, very funny.
I could hear the laughter resonate all the way up.
I mean, I ranked Kepi higher than Telenet. Kepi's been on a hotter streak and has more support. But it's 100. It's definitely doable for Telenet. This is no like 80. This is no 80-20 matchup like the rest of these.
Yeah, maybe 75. 75.
Yeah. Yeah. So we've got all these games that make me almost wish we could watch PU Open finals, but then I remember it's Rosie Bear Dominatio. Oh my god! Did you see CBU versus Dominatio for Snake semis? Because I watched that shit live.
CBU fell over.
I watched that shit live. They both looked really bad. I want to be positive. I like Domination. I've played a lot of Ubers with him in the past. I want to be positive. Holy fuck, they did not look good, dude.
Yeah. Were you planning on making a video and just like halfway through you're just like, nope, cut, no, this is not happening?
No, I watched it live, but I was not recording at all. I didn't even think about that. I don't think about doing any YouTube stuff except for Untier Talk. But I could do that for Open Finals. That's going to be tomorrow at 1 p.m.
Well, when I say I'll help you, I'll get on whenever the game is. Co-commentate it with you.
It's 3 p.m. Eastern. Your time, let's see, that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's 8 p.m. your time, I think.
Wednesday?
Yeah.
I think it's Wednesday, right?
Yeah, tomorrow. Or today for you.
I can get on for that.
All right. I'll probably just like voice chat in the PU Discord and commentate that. And since this will be up before then, if you want to join, feel free. I'll just let whoever come in as long as you don't start shouting racial slurs or whatever. That would not be fun. Don't do that for the ha-has. Not that anyone's ever done that in PU, but like, you're recording in a public Discord. It feels like something that needs to be said. Anyway, I think we can just throw it to Gimmick Corner and then end it off. It's, it being 4 a.m. for you and all. I'll let my thing be the counter Encore Polytoad that I have not used once, but it sounded funny. That can be mine.
Nice. So, Liepard?
I've heard of Liepard.
Okay, so have you heard Liepard use Nasty Plot Dark Pulse do physical attacks?
Nasty Plot Dark Pulse, and then you cut out a bit?
Do physical attacks.
I've not heard of that.
Well, you should, because it makes very scary. It becomes very scary.
So is it like a lure type thing, or what? I'm confused.
Yeah, it's like,
because it's not strong.
So, okay,
you can't like not invest in one of its attack stats and still do damage.
Right. So
what I can see is like Nasty Plot Dark Pulse copycat knockoff, and then people think you're physical or something.
Yes. The thing is, we drop copycat because it's a gimmick, and we can run something like, I don't know, like Play Rough, which generally deals with the counters that
with what counters? Scraggy?
Yes,
with what counters?
Specifically Scraggy.
What are you hitting with Play Rough? You know how much damage Throw takes from uninvested Liepard Play Rough? Hang on.
I'm sure. I'm actually
okay, let's go 0-0 Flame Orb Throw. versus a 0 attack but not minus nature Liepard. Play rough. Wow, that does 35 to 41.
Shit.
Versus okay,
Fuck.
now let's say it's just max HP. That does
Wait,
30 to
that.
30.
Don't embarrass me like that.
That does 30 to 35. A 0 attack Liepard play rough.
Damn. Wow, that was way worse than I thought.
That's honestly, I'm shocked it's that good. Hang on. I'm gonna see if that does more than a +2 Dark Pulse to Spadef throw.
Wait,
okay.
Dude, you don't
Max Spadef throw and like no defense. Okay, so Liepard's play rough does 30 to 35. 0 attack, not minus nature. Now +2 black glasses, Dark Pulse does 16 to 7 to 16 to 19.
Okay,
it needs.
I get it. Like
it needs.
You're ha-haing me. I get it.
It needs all 3 nasty plots to be doing 33 to 39 when its uninvested play rough does 30 to 35. That's shockingly good. That is shockingly good. Timid Liepard's play rough with 0 attack investment does more damage than its +2 black glasses max special attack Dark Pulse to Spadef throw. That's a meaningless calc, but oh my god, that's amazing.
Dude.
And throw is equal defense and special defense.
Why you bully me? Why you keep bullying me?
That's actually amazing though. That's like really fucking funny.
I thought it sounded good for a second, where it was like good hit fighters with play rough. I was thinking AV Hitmonchan was the main thing.
Hitmonchan.
That'd be funny.
Okay, AV Hitmonchan. If it's like max HP and a lot and like 100 Spadef and careful. Okay, a max HP AV Hitmonchan takes 42 to 50 from a timid Liepard play rough 0 attack.
What?
That's
doesn't 2-hit KO?
Well, no, but if you go bashful, then it does 46 to 55, which is a 99.6% chance to 2-hit KO for Stealth Rock, not factoring in play rough always missing. So that's bashful. Although I will say, if you're running minus defense, then it will OHKO you with Mach Punch.
Use minus with death. Use minus with death.
Yeah, no, you got to go. It'll be like a 75% chance to OHKO after Stealth Rock from 72 attack Iron Fist Hitmonchan. So yeah, you got to go minus Spadef.
Yeah.
That's really funny though. How much play rough does to these? I'm genuinely impressed. I wasn't making fun of you. I actually think that's kind of great.
I just feel like I've been smashed into oblivion.
No, that's genuinely not bad. Like doing 30 to throw with like no attack timid. That's crazy, dude.
I feel like I'm being hunted relentlessly now.
This is easily the best part of the podcast. The best part's always at the end, dude. All right. Thanks everyone for tuning in. I think that just about covers everything we need to hit. Next week we'll have actual Snake games to go through, maybe open finals. We'll see what ends up not sucking. Maybe it'll just be Tlenet Kepi and nothing else. That's not being charitable. I'm sure the other Snake games will be interesting. Possibly even better. Who knows? We'll see you then to find out. What do you say?
Upset season.
Upset season. Yeah. Let's everyone should get upset except for Soulgazer. That's my opinion. That way my power rankings 100% accurate.